I want to take the time to welcome everybody that is globally, worldwide, people out there tuning in for the first time or people that's been tuning in for over 9 years of this station. Welcome to Branded After Dark. I am Branded in the building. Hey, after listening to that song right there, I mean, what else can be said? I mean, this woman has definitely a gift that I would love to just embrace and appreciate and show as far as 110% support. And the station, of course, brought to you by Nexxlegacy.com. Make sure you go ahead and hit all social media things up, which is Nexxlegacy, Nexxlegacy, and also hit me up at iambranded. And my guest, as you heard her already, to me, I just think that everything that she has accomplished so far, this is just the beginning of bigger and better things. She's getting ready to release her EP, Crazy Love Amplified. She is a certified gold artist. She is a Juno Award winner. She has like multiple things to say as far as accomplishments, but deeper than that though, y'all, she just got a gift. Like, I think when you hear her voice, you could definitely say, hey, she got it. And Devine Brown is my guest, and she is also brought to you by, you can hit her up on Instagram at Devine_Brown_music, and Devine Brown is my guest on Branded After Dark Live with millions of people listening. My queen, it is great to have you on. How you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm zoning out after listening to like most of your tracks, like not just all day today, but like before we even set the interview up. So I just feel like, you know, outside of that, like, I mean, you know, like I said, some people talk about like talented people, and there's a lot of talented people out there, but also, yes, you got that gift, you got that little something extra. So I definitely got to make sure that I let you know that, young lady. So I'm just saying, hey, first off. So how are things?
Things are great. Thank you so much for all of those compliments. I really appreciate it.
So for the people out there that's listening to Ms. Brown for the very, very first time, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself as far as, you know, how you got started, what gave you that opportunity as far as just, you know what, woke up one morning and say, you know what, I got this gift, I need to go ahead and let the world know what's going on. So tell the folks a little bit about you.
Well, I've been doing my thing for quite some time. I started professional musical theater at the age of 12, and I have always known that I wanted to be on stage. I would always, as a very young child, get really excited when I saw my favorite vocalists and performers on television stations, and I get really excited when I would hear really beautiful melodies coming off of the radio, and artists that my parents would play, you know, on a Sunday afternoon, you know, after church, just all kinds of really, really good music from Al Green to Bob Marley to just the real sort of my family is from Jamaica, so I have Jamaican roots, and I had a DJ out in Jamaica say, you know, Jamaicans, they are what was the term? It was like Jamaicans listen to all kinds of music. They don't like stay in one lane when it comes to that, when it comes to their style. So we listen to just about everything, and yeah, I've always known that I wanted to be on stage. You know, when I was in elementary school, anytime I had an opportunity to sing in a choir or to be in some performance for, like, you know, Christmas time, I was just all over it. And my big opportunity came in here in Canada in about 2003. I had the opportunity to sing backgrounds for Nelly Furtado.
Okay.
and I really, 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 it was really important for me to sort of get involved with her management at the time, and by 2005, I dropped my first album, self-titled, and I had a big hit off of it called Old School Love, which really sort of helped to propel me as an artist here in Canada. And I did my second record here in about 2000, dropped it in 2008, called The Love Chronicles. And I had a big hit off of that called Sunglasses, which I actually, which Nelly Furtado and I wrote together. And I had a big hit called Late on the Line on that record as well. So, I've just been doing, like I said, I've been on my grind for a long time, and now I'm officially an independent artist, and I'd like to, a part of me sitting here talking to you right now is about really making an effort as an independent artist to broaden my fan base and to just broaden my fan base from the North American perspective and just get some U.S. love in there as well, and
with a voice
worldwide.
With the voice like that, I don't think you're going to have a problem getting it. I mean, I'm pretty sure with a lot of people out there that's now tuning in, listening to you for the very first time, I'm sure they're going to hit up your social media and they're going to show their appreciation for talent. I mean, you got it. And to me, I feel like when it comes down to just the business in itself, and you said you're diving into the entertainment business as an independent artist, do you feel like that gives you a little bit more power as opposed to being walked down by, corporations, or that's a little bit more of an extra effort as far as just making sure that you get out there and do interviews and promote the brand, or both?
You know what? Yeah, it actually is both. What I've learned is that anytime that some really special things have happened when I have not been with a label, that happened just based on connecting with people and taking chances that labels here in Canada weren't willing to take.
Okay.
A remix for the song Sunglasses that I wrote with Nelly Furtado, that song went to number 14 on the Billboard U.S. dance charts in 2011, and that just happened because I happened to be connected with a dance promotional company in New York, and I had them. I enlisted them on, and they really helped too. They have really great relationships with the Billboard DJs out in the U.S., and they loved the track and just really pushed it. But that remix happened. The label out here just slept on it, and so
right.
it really kind of proved the point for me in terms of the kind of power that I have, that an independent artist has to make decisions and follow through with them based on having the resources and not having to deal with a go-between who says, well, that's not really going to work, rather than taking a chance and making it work. You know what I mean? So there's
right.
that, I have the freedom to talk to, set up interviews with anybody worldwide, release my material anywhere worldwide, especially with that's one of the great things about the digital era that we're in right now, is there's so many opportunities and resources that we have as independent artists to get our music out there, and social media, sites like YouTube really help to connect people, or at least connect people to the music, because what I find with the younger generation is, outside of what they may hear on the radio, a lot of the younger generation don't even listen to the radio as much as they hear songs that they like, or they hear about
Very
their friends
true.
talking about songs, and then they go on YouTube or whatever site that they go on, and they're listening to it from there, right? They go to YouTube and they hear they pick a mix that they think that they'll like, and that's what they're listening to, and that's how they get hip to what's new and up and coming.
Right.
And for independent artists, that is there is a plethora of resources that you have, and a plethora of opportunities to be heard. And that's what's really important, because again, like, having to deal with a middleman who doesn't necessarily understand the music that you're doing, what's important is to get the music out to people who are excited, or not excited, but are into that kind of thing, and developing a fan base, furthering developing a fan base through that,
How do you feel about, just in general, when it comes to the business? Because I'm listening to you talk, and to me, I think everything that you're saying is on point. Also, when it comes to radio, and also if you are a fan of music, like, because we have that gift of appreciating what music is and the hard work that comes about it. There's some people that, it's kind of like what you said too, they'll go look for it, but then do they really want to pay attention and go purchase it like they once did, maybe a couple of decades ago, where that was really the only option you had? How do you feel? Because it is a brave new world out there. I mean, for a lot of
really is.
a lot of people out there, where it's and I feel like the fan base, or some fan bases, can take it for granted because they know where to find it for free and they'll get it. But then again, it's the responsibility of a fan to just be like, you know what, I know it's out there, but I'm going to still get it because I'm investing in her and I believe in her brand and I want her to continue to come out with more. So that means you got to literally go to the polls and vote, meaning go make that 99-cent purchase on a single, or go to the website and go support on a business side. So my question to you is, when you see that it's changed, and you're a music historian, honey, you know what time it is. It's changed a lot. How have you adjusted to these, ways of life now when it comes to music and purchasing and all that?
It's hard, because I feel like every coming year there's a different there's a different element to the change that happens. Technology is something that changes. If you have, whether you're an Android or an Apple user with your phone, or whether you're a PC or an Apple user with your computer, you buy a computer 5 years later, less than 5 years later, you need to get a completely new system, because there have been so many upgrades that have happened that the piece of technology that you purchased 5 years ago can no longer handle what the upgrades have how the upgrades have been designed. So so when it comes to music, and how to develop and further continue what you're doing. It's not easy, but it's important to try to develop, like, stay on top of your own thing, but also to I think one of the interesting things that I've learned over the past couple of years is how important it is to develop a niche market. I think that one of the things that as an independent artist that a lot of people don't recognize is you have the power to develop a niche market for yourself.
Right.
And which means that, but what that entails is a lot of work and research to figure out, the countries that the countries that happen to be, the top countries that hit up your Facebook or your Instagram or your website in general, and then base your availability of the music. Your music's going to be available, worldwide, nonetheless, as long as you're sort of setting it up to be available on digital portals. But you have the opportunity to do your own research and develop your own very loyal fan base that doesn't have to be based on what's being played on mainstream radio.
Right.
And I think that is, from a business perspective, that was something that I've been really trying to wrap my head around over the past few years to develop an understanding to further develop my brand. You know,
I think also the biggest thing as far as support, because I always tend to want to go back to, because again, and I stress this, that so many people out there can embrace, and they say, you know, hey, we're gonna do what we can, and we're gonna show support. But now I feel like, you know, being an independent artist and having a bunch of independent record labels, or just being an independent artist building your own brand, you got an option to really just kind of step back and look and see who's consistently supporting your brand. Because I mean, you know how social media is, Ms. Brown. You can have 1 million followers, and then you might get only 10,000 of them that's really supporting what you're doing. So
right.
you know, you get that opportunity to really just step back, keep game, see exactly who's doing what and why, and if it's 100%. And I think a lot of us in the media need to show that support, because if I'm telling you, like, hey, you know what, you're extremely talented and you're going to continue to go far, we need to make sure that we show you the utmost respect and compassion for your brand and what you do on the business side. As a station and as a fan, we need to do that collectively, and that single when it's released, and go, you know, support that video and go pass it on to others. And I think the responsibility is really up to us to help you grow more so than it's ever been before, right?
Absolutely. I think that it's people like you and stations that are like Nexxlegacy radio, internet radio. It's, if you like it, then pump it. See, back in the day, you know, if a DJ, it was really up to the disc jockeys that heard. I'm talking the times of the Supremes. Like, if they heard a song that was popping, or somebody was in their face about, play this record, I know it's a hit, and then people respond to that, there's still that aspect that exists now. And this is what I'm talking about, is even for people who are not necessarily in the mainstream, people who are not on mainstream radio, in quotations, that are still doing this thing, who are very talented, we rely on people like yourself who support good music. If they hear it and they like it, then we rely on you to keep playing it and to keep talking about as independent artists. That's the only way we're going to be heard. That's a big part of how we're going to be recognized. And I know that for me, throughout the course of my career, it has been an imperative aspect of some of the success that I have seen has been through word of mouth. Before I even became the name Devine Brown here in Canada, I heard this girl, she was amazing. It was really about the experience of people coming to see me perform and feeling and being touched in some way on a deeper scale than just, oh, she's got a good voice, or yeah, she looks good. You know what I mean? And and so from, yeah, she looks good, but she like, you know, it goes much deeper than that. And like I said, you know, every single opportunity that I have been granted to talk about my music, to get my music played and heard on stations like this, you know, is truly a blessing. So, and I'm just going with the flow and going with my gut, as it were, now, you know, and so far it's a really cool journey.
and I'm loving the journey that you're in, and just, you know, just doing it, just being able to just watch it evolve and turn into something special, and having new listeners listening, hearing you for the first time, and just being blown away from what I'm getting via emails and certain things like that too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a track, come back. We're going to ask you a couple questions about what's in store with the project that you're re-releasing and what's in store with future things as far as, performances and a couple of random questions that I know Ms. Brown can be able to deliver to her fans, some things that she, may not have revealed to her fan base before. So we'll figure all that out after we play this track. And this one right here that we're going to play, Old School Love, was the one that really just like, oh, my God, this woman is just, whew, Lord have mercy. Have mercy on her voice. Good God. And Devine Brown is brought to you by DevineBrown.ca, where you can go ahead and hit up the website, Facebook.com/Devine Brown. Twitter is you're gonna have to help me out with the whole verbiage of your Twitter and
my Twitter.
Yeah, you're gonna have to help me out with that one.
Twitter is Divina Marome, DIVINAMARROM. Divina Marome is basically Devine Brown in Portuguese.
There you go. Okay, well, see, there you go. There is a method to the reasoning for that name, people out there. So if you're Googling Devine Brown, make sure you go ahead and direct it on the Twitter. Instagram is Instagram.com/Devine_Brown_music. And this song, y'all, I'm telling you, if you're listening to it for the first time, you're gonna put it on a replay somewhere. This is Devine Brown, Old School Love right here. Talented Devine Brown, and if you didn't get out of your seat listening to that one, holding your hands up or doing whatever it is you want to do, then you ain't into music. Then I'm just saying, this woman's got it. She's brought to you by DivineBrown.ca is her website. Make sure you hit her up on her social media as well. And Devine, like, again, whew, I don't know what else to say. Like, Lord have mercy.
Where did you find that?
God.
I recorded that real early in the morning.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was like a live recording for like a radio station, and it was early. So I'm like,
is that right?
No. All good, though. That's awesome. You did your research, Charles.
Come on now. Come on. You know I got to make sure that I give the listeners every single bit of the talent that I'm saying. When I'm talking about it, I want my listeners out there to really feel it, though. Like, and to me, it's just, I come from that cloth where it's just like, if it doesn't give you chills, then it's something wrong, like, and that song and just projects in general just kind of grabs me, and it just takes you to a certain place, and that's really what music is all about. Like, I always feel like, because you have a gift, it's, people out there, I'm not trying to go to church, but if you got God's gift and you giving it to folks, then I feel like it should be embraced and nurtured and appreciated as such. And people out there that's listening, if you feeling it and if you like it and if you loving it right instantly, then the best thing you can do is not just show this young lady just that by hitting up her social media stuff and letting her know, like, hey, very talented, blessed, etc., but also just make sure you hit up iTunes and all these other spots and support her projects and things of that nature. And again, I'm just, it's we all love Devine Brown on Nexxlegacy Radio. I'm just gonna be like, I'm keeping a smile on my face because I know it's delivered with a lot of passion. And Devine, you can tell, when you sing, you can tell you love what you do. I'm just saying.
I absolutely love what I do. I love you. You really hit the hammer on the nail when you're talking about God's gift. Like, I wholeheartedly and humbly recognize that I have a God-given gift, and it would be a shame for me not to share it. And I love sharing my gift. And it's a real honor and a privilege for me to be able to have the breath to be able to share my gift. And I really appreciate the fact that people appreciate the love that I'm given every time I get up on stage and perform, or every time I go in the studio and do a song, and share it with people, because it's you know what they say, like, artists are sensitive about their stuff, right? So, but we're sharing, we're bearing our souls when we write a song and put it out there, and that's not the easiest thing to do. It takes a lot of courage to do that, and but it also, like I said, I don't even see it in that way, because I love to sing, and I just love sharing my gift, and I recognize wholeheartedly that it's God-given, and it would be a shame for me not to share it.
And as a fan, we're definitely grateful that you are. And tell the listeners a little bit about Crazy Love Amplified. And this is tabbed a re-release. So a re-released EP. What's the motivation behind the re-release?
Well, originally when I had dropped Crazy Love last year, I didn't really have. There was no marketing behind it. Like, there was zero marketing, no publicity, no nothing. So people didn't even really know about it. Like, a couple people caught wind of it, and that was it. And so that in itself really ended up not. The project didn't get any just due as a result. And so I just kind of made a lot of changes from a business standpoint, and pulled it from iTunes and all of the other digital portals that it had been released on, and I made the decision that, look, you know what, I want to give this project just due. I'm going to put some new songs on the project, and I want to. And I want to give it some marketing push. So I was able to and really sort of utilize some of the resources that I had in a proper manner to be able to get this project heard properly,
Right.
So it's all about, once again, just taking things into my own hands and saying, look, like, I'm tired of garbage. I'm tired of the crap. I need to. The only way that I'm going to be able to sort of, at least if I say, all right, you know what, I'm gonna get all my ducks in a row and position myself in a manner in which will help to broaden opportunities for me to be seen and heard outside of Canada. And the only way that I could do that in the way that I saw fit was to go with my gut and take control of my project and say, all right, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do this in my own way. And granted, when it comes to business, I am constantly learning. I think a lot of independent artists, or artists in general, are constantly learning about how the business works, with all of the changes that are happening and the evolution of music and how quickly it happens, and how quickly those changes happen. I think we're always on the learning curve of what we could do next, or the different ways that we can approach our music. But for me right now, it was just vitally important to just take matters into my own hands and say, look, you know what, I want to do it my way, and this is where we're at right now, which is how I came up with the concept of Crazy Love Amplified, by amplifying the original project with some new material, maybe taking out some of the old material, replacing it with some new material, some remixes, and all together keeping my favorites on the project.
What's dope about what you just said as far as the re-release and making sure that it stretches a bigger audience than you had when you originally released it? You got full control over that. You can basically do it, reassemble your strategy, dial it back in and figure out what can work and what needs your way. And that, to me, I think that's a dope way to do it. And not only that, you got to have a level of patience too in this sense too, because correct me if I'm wrong, Devine. Like, I'm pretty sure that one of the reasons why you pulled it too was just the frustrations of knowing that you actually had something that was brilliant as far as music, that it only fell onto a few ears and it hasn't been put out or pushed out on a bigger scale than you probably anticipated, right?
Exactly. And it was a shame to me because, I mean, I felt really good about the project. And I remember only seeing one hit online about, someone hearing it and saying that I had quietly put out a new project and it's actually good. And that was one person, one hit, one person. And that to me was, okay, that's a shame. This is where I need to stop and reassess everything and say, I'm not satisfied with that, because at least at the end of the day, once I have put it out the way that I want to in whatever country I want to, again, based on the research that I do, and letting people know, okay, in the countries that tend to hit up my website or my Facebook or Instagram, is at least I can say, you know what, I put my best effort in, and I know that I'm accountable, as opposed to feeling frustrated for others, about others' accountability and their lack and their lack of wanting to be accountable. Does that make sense?
That's perfect. That's a perfect way to say it. That's a perfect way to say it. And see now you got me like adjusting my seat right now, Miss Devine Brown, just for the simple fact that not only do I understand where you're coming from 100%, this is exactly what we were talking about like not 10, 15 minutes ago, about the fact that you can have a handful of followers, but then who's liking those, who's going out to purchase those, who is supporting those moments, you know what I mean? The moment you throw something out there, again, you can have 1 million followers, but if you only have 5,000 likes, then that percentage is super low. So, but at the same time, that's when, as not just an artist, but a support group in your team has to assemble okay, well, you know what? This is what we're getting, but we need to probably go a little bit grassroots as well. But then we need to just know who the down people are. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, who are those that is willing to not just purchase, but also spread the music out and try to create such a storm that people can't deny but to listen and to pay attention and to purchase. So then that's when, the team comes. And it's just like when you got people on your team, Devine, you know who's down for you and who's not. I mean, it's just the way it is at the end of it all. So, but that plays into... And
you learn that relatively quickly. Yeah, you learn that quickly, Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it's important, not just as an artist, but even in media as well. Like, there's some things where it's just like, the fan base, where people got, wow, y'all got short attention span. This is actually good. This is just like, this is just like the good thing that you see that you just really don't want. Like, okay, we got those vegetables right there. But then again, y'all gonna go at the fast food right there. You know what I mean? It's just, am I lying? No, that's the truth.
No,
but we get that all the time. We get it all the time. But
100.
there has to be a different narrative, and I'm hoping that people out there that's listening that can just feel the words coming from this young lady's mouth and feeling the appreciation that we have, that people can be able to log in and just create that buzz where it's just so much of a storm that people can't deny it. And it's like raining super hard out here in the Bay Area right now too. So FYI, people, the storm is coming. And her name is Devine Brown, and she is brought to you by DevineBrown.ca. Make sure you hit her up on social media. Facebook, Devine Brown. Instagram, Devine_Brown_music. Make sure you follow, show support as well. And I know you had musical plays. I know you've done a lot of that. and I'm not going to tell you to, choose which one, like singing and plays, but I know you have like a lot of musical plays, so I know there's a lot of singing in those plays. But is there a difference of preparation for it as opposed to writing a song and going in the booth and creating that magic as opposed to actually doing something like that as far as musical plays?
It's interesting because the similarity is it's storytelling at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is it's not my story. So
right.
Right. So I have to, depending on what it is that I have to, I basically have to embody whatever it is that is required of me to tell the story. And it's not about me. It's about the story that I'm telling, someone else's story, and having the ability to tell that story to the best of my ability.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interpretation, so it's different. It's like singing somebody else's song, basically. So
right.
I now am I now am interpreting someone else's story. And in how I see it and how I hear it and feel it. So the preparation is definitely different because I've got to take on another persona. There's still a little bit of me in there, but I'm taking on another persona in order to tell the story effectively.
Do you have any musical plays in the near future that you're going to be in?
Yes, I'm going to be doing a play called Passing Strange, which is going to be playing for about 3 weeks here in Toronto with the Acting Up Stage Company. And Passing Strange it's a great story about an African American teenager who it's a bit like a coming of age story, but he basically goes to Europe to find himself musically. And Spike Lee took some interest in this particular play and recorded it. I think he recorded it live. This was a few years ago, about 2008 or 2009, something like that.
Okay.
And
right.
so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to be playing the main character's mom. And I can relate because I'm a teenager.
Okay.
When I went in for the audition, I remember saying, I'm like, I can totally relate to this. When you're telling your teenager, get up, get motivated, do something.
Right. Go be somebody today. Go do that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's up. So I'm pretty sure all the information will be on your website for people to check out as far as just a lot of future things. What about just, doing tours? I mean, I know you're re-releasing, turning it to Crazy Love Amplified, so I'm pretty sure you're going to be hitting the like different tour spots and stuff like that where people can check you out.
Yeah, I am. I haven't set up specific tours yet. What I have are a few shows that are. I have a few shows where I'll be really sort of amping up for the release in February, but like release of the full EP. Hopefully, I don't have to push the date, but because it's set for February 14th. But in the interim, I will be doing like a lot of shows here. Like I'll be doing a show at the Rose Theatre in Brampton, here in the Greater Toronto area, and that will be February 16th, I believe. And I'm doing a Niagara Ice Wine Festival in January. I'm going to be doing very recent. In the very near future, November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I'll be doing a show with the stage company that I'm doing Passing Strange with, where it's called Uncovered, and it'll be a bunch of actors, singers who are will be covering David Bowie material and Queen material. I'm actually really
Sweet.
excited about that. Yeah, I'm really excited about that particular one because I'll be doing 3 Queen songs.
Okay.
Another one, Bites the Dust, which I'll be playing bass and singing.
Nice.
Yeah, and Somebody to Love and was it Radio Gaga? No. Yeah, Radio Gaga, I believe. I might be wrong,
Okay.
but I know the first 2 are definitely for sure. And so I'm really excited about that because I've always played bass on and off throughout my career, and I've always loved Another One Bites the Dust, the bass line, especially because John Deacon totally gives props to Chic's Good Times for giving him the idea for Another One Bites the Dust. The very beginning of the bass line is exactly the same.
Nice.
Nice.
You know what?
Yeah.
Just looking forward to just all things that you have going on. Devine Brown is our guest on Branded After Dark. You can check her out on our website, devinebrown.ca. Go do that right now. Just go get to know this young lady and just keep surging through as we are tonight. And a couple of quick questions before we let you go. And one of the questions that I wanted to ask you is, in addition to everything that you're doing, music, you have musical plays, what does Devine Brown do in her spare time away from music? Like, I know music is like your child; it's a part of you. It's never going to go away. But what do you do in addition to it? Any hobbies? Anything that you can be able to tell your fans, new and established fan base? What else do you do?
Okay. One of the things that I like to do to stay sane is to work out. So currently, I've been doing CrossFit for the past 3 years,
okay.
and so that I like to stay fit. People tend to get freaked out when they hear CrossFit because they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's so hard. There's so many injuries. You should stop. You should just stop. People get so many injuries," right? Or I also have a great passion for the Brazilian martial arts, capoeira.
Really?
Which, yeah, and so I have not been able to train as much as I used to, but I trained for like 6-7 years straight in that medium, and every so often when I have a Saturday that I can blow some steam off and sort of go to the group that I'm training with now, we do a little bit. I love it because it involves music, because I get to learn different new instruments. I love it because the Portuguese with me saying Divina Marone as my Twitter address, that's where that comes from, because a lot of the music is sung in Portuguese, so it's a really beautiful art form that combines acrobatics, dance, and martial arts. And it's something that I absolutely love to do. So I do it every chance that I get. I like to do Bikram yoga. I like to read when I get the opportunity, which I haven't had a chance to do much of. Not since I finished a play that I just finished this summer. And what other things do I like to do? I don't know. I like to watch movies. I like long walks on the beach.
Well, wait, hold up. Long walks on the beach. Wait, long walks on the beach by yourself or with someone else? Like,
Either or, it don't matter, because I like to clear my mind by the water too. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it.
In case the significant other gets on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? Remember, I'm trying to stay sane. I love it.
Hey, indeed. Yeah, you definitely don't want no cloudy situation where it just makes you or turns you into something you really don't want. Yeah, the insanity, we don't need that. We don't need none of it.
Exactly.
We don't need it. Brother. We don't need that personal, up close and personal insanity, and we don't need virtual insanity either. We don't need none of that.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
So actually, that kind of brings my next question into full circle too. Before we let you go, young lady. So how do you juggle your personal life with all the things that you got going on, though?
I don't have a personal life right now. My personal life, actually, that's a lie. It's fairy tale. My personal life really consists of like hanging out with my friends right now,
Gotcha.
and business. I really don't have a lot of time for anything else, and that's not for nothing, because I know that it's really important to stay on my grind.
Mm-hmm.
But when like I feel like, and it's been like that for a while, and I don't like drama, and that's probably one of the reasons that I tend to kind of end up staying to myself and being single. But in the interim, and it's always hard when I am in a relationship to juggle both the career and the personal. But one of the things that keeps me sane is making sure that I have a healthy dose of connecting with the people that I really love and care about, family and my close friends.
There you go. And that's important. And I think that, especially no matter if you're single or if you're building something with someone, I think the most important thing is that person's got to be your biggest supporter, and vice versa into what anybody does. I think if you are business-driven, that person has to be business-driven as well. If you're business-driven and that person is not, you're going to have some problems. A little bit.
Exactly.
Mainly because that person just really don't understand the hustle or the grind or the sacrifice that normally takes place. Most people that do would have an understanding about it, and they can just kind of, just find ways to be able to be supportive and do it in creative ways where it won't be a hindrance, rather than it would actually be crazy love amplified. No
exactly. Exactly. No pun fully intended, and I appreciate it. But that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Because in life, we do have the moments where it's just like, it's up and down, just like life. But in general, like, I think in life, when it comes to anything that you deal with, fight that fight together. Go crazy together. Be in love together, and turn it up. Make it amplified together. I think that's all. That's all. Let's see. You see how I segue that re-release for your EP coming in, right? Like, I'm working.
I do.
I'm working it for you. I'm just putting it out there.
I appreciate it.
That's times 10. That's times 10. Before we let you go, sweetheart, make sure you go ahead and say all the things you need to say to your fan base that is listening right now. Some that has supported you since day one. Some that is just tuning in, just saying, hey, you know what? Devine Brown's all that. I'm going to just support her right now. So the floor is yours.
Listen, to all my fan base that have been supporting me from day one, I love you and I appreciate you. And as you know, the first single drops. It's called Love Alibi, featuring 80 Empire. It's a great up-tempo song. Make sure November 1st that you are on iTunes to pick it up and buy that single. For all my new fans, same goes to you, but new people that are kind of getting to know me, do your research, see some of the stuff that I've done, and press like and hit me up on my social media outlets and let me know that you appreciate me. Send me an email via my website and let me know who you are and where you're at, so that I can make sure that I can keep you up to date with what's happening.
And you know what? I love the Devine Brown alias Davina Marone. Like, to me, I think that's just dope right there. Like, now, especially now that I know what the meaning of it is, yeah, I'm sold right there. I am sold. So you're gonna start hearing me say that name a lot. So just so you know.
Perfect.
So all in support, and I completely thank you for giving me your time. This is fun. This has been fun. I know a lot of listeners out there that's listening right now. I know they're logged in and just really loving the vibe. So just continue to stay on that blessed path, and just know that you got a supporter right here, not just this station, but just me personally. Like, I just want to do whatever I can to kind of help growth, because I think we all need to help each other out when it comes to that.
Absolutely.
And you can never get enough of that, especially if it's genuine. And a lot of people just, we don't want to take it for granted. We're not promised tomorrow, so just want to make sure that we do whatever we can today to make this crazy love amplified. So, hi, see,
there
look
you
at
go.
what I did. Look at what I did.
I love it. You can just keep plugging
right.
it. You know what? I'm loving it.
and you know what? I appreciate you. And you talked about Love Alibi, and we're gonna take the listeners home with this interview with that coming up next. So thank you for giving me your time. This has been fun. Can you come back later, and just, come and invade the station and just hang out? Maybe we'll take callers and, we'll just turn it into a house party.
Absolutely. I'm all over it. I'm all over it. Thank you.
Right,
I really appreciate you having me on the show.
It's definitely a blessing. And Love Alibi, if you haven't checked it out, make sure you go ahead and do, and just make sure you go and support this young lady, Devine Brown. Much love, sweetheart.
Thank you so much, Charles.
Nexxlegacy.